Hello guys, today we will talk about how to force yourself to learn. So, how do I do this? Maybe you are tired after class and all you want to do is curl up with Netflix and a bowl of cereal. But you really should study and you know it. It's just that you just don't feel like it at all, or you have a project that due you on, a paper to write, or a test coming up. Or maybe you just know you ought to study a little every day. How do you avoid procrastination and build up the motivation to get started? Well, you've come to the right place. That's what we're talking about today. Of course, there are some long-term steps you could take to make sure this scenario happens less often, like building more self-discipline and better study habits. But what if you need to get started like right now? We've got you covered. Follow our 4-step process to get the study motivation you need. Step 1. Take a walk. Funnily enough, this is one of the most effective steps in the process, and it's usually the one that you feel the most resistance to. When there's a bunch of work to be done, it feels counterintuitive to leave it till behind and go outside. So what should you? To be present. Walking is good for your brain. Walking creates productive momentum. Instead of sitting at your desk, moping around and feeling like you ought to be getting something done, you actually are getting something done. But the time you go for a walk around the block and come back to your desk, you'll feel like accomplished already, and that will propel you forward into your textbooks and notes. It works for the same reason that making your bed or doing the dishes gets you a good start to your day. It creates momentum. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion. Going for a walk gets you moving on a productive track without ever touching your studies. Step 2. Commit to a single task. So, you're back from your walk, and it's time to sit down and do some work. Don't get started just yet. First, pick one thing to focus on. If you pick more than one thing, you're setting yourself up to be distracted. Instead, set yourself up for success and pick one thing to focus on at first. Commit to it, even write it down. When you write a goal down, you're committed to it. You have something to look at that will remind you of your main focus for that day. This makes it a whole lot easier to get that one very important thing done, like writing a research paper or studying for a test. You won't be worried about 3,000 other things. Your brain only has to focus on one task. Be nice to your brain and commit to a single goal before doing anything else. Step 3. Clear to neutral. The very next thing you should do is clear your workspace to neutral. Before you move on, get rid of anything that doesn't relate to the task at hand. Throw your trash away. Give yourself a clear workspace. Close extra browser tabs you aren't going to use. Shut off the internet entirely if you have to. Once that's done, you're ready to begin. Step 4. Use the Pomodoro technique. Here's a way to beat your resistance to starting every time. Set a timer for 25 minutes and work on just one task during these 25 minutes. Take a 5-minute break after the timer goes off. Repeat your 25 block 4 more times. Take a longer break. You'll be surprised how fast that 25-minute block of time goes. And once you get in a good flow, don't be afraid to ignore the timer and keep going. The whole point of the technique is just to get you started. While you're working, keep a piece of paper next to you. When you think of something, say you need to email your professor, text a friend, or look up a recipe for Skyrim sweet rolls. Write it down on the piece of paper and go back to work. This helps chase distracting thoughts out of your brain. When you write them down, you elevate your brain's need to remember them and free up your focus muscles for the task at hand.